story time video. I haven't done one in a while, and so I'm just going to be talking about the time that my daughter had surgery on her colon at 6 months old. Just an FYI, I may seem a little touchy to this. I don't know, it's really hard to think about because of all the stuff that she was going through at the time, and I was a first time mom then, so like it was so shocking and it's just really hard to talk about, but hey, I'm going to be talking about it anyway. Alright, so it was like, I think it was June 18th of 2014. Me and my friends were just hosting like a little yard sale, and we had something else planned that night. So we was gonna get our yard sale done, and then go and do what else we had to do like later that night. Well, we all, just laid down for a nap, trying to get the yard sale going, and then I had noticed like Nye was sleeping for the longest time ever. Like she never really slept that long. I think she slept like 3+ hours, but I thought maybe it was just where she got, she had a lot going on. We were busy that day. She got up early, so I thought she was worn out and playing with her little friends. So yeah, I thought maybe she was just worn out. Well, she finally wakes up, and at first, like, she doesn't seem like herself. I thought maybe it was just from her, like, just waking up, so she didn't really, she was still half asleep. That's what I thought. So, I looked at my friend, because the other one, she had to leave to go get the rest of the stuff that we were going to do that later that day ready. But, so she left, and I asked my friend that was there with me if, maybe if Nye looked okay. Well, I had set her down, and usually, like, if I would have set her down, she would have crawled everywhere, or she would have just, like, been not the way that she was acting. So I kind of figured that something was wrong, but once again, I thought maybe it was just where she had just woken up, and maybe she was still tired. Well, so then I noticed she was acting all weird, and she went to try to use the restroom, and she had trouble. Well, then I thought maybe she was constipated, so finally she passed it, and I had noticed like it was different. It was like watery in a way. Well, then my friend had noticed that Nye was starting to like become limp. She wasn't really, she was acting really weird. Her body was real limp. Sorry, I had something flash. Anyway, her body was real limp. She was just not herself. She seemed like she was so, drowsy in a way. And then she, like, her eyes started rolling in the back of her head, so my friend thought she was starting to have seizures. She is really well with spotting seizures, because her son had a few of them. Anyway, so we thought that that's what was happening. So then, she was becoming more limp and limp. So then we then asked her mom, does this baby is this baby acting different to you, or is it just us? If I'm not mistaken, I think her mom was in the nursing field, and so that's why we kind of just we kind of just asked her to see what she would say, and she said rush her down to the ER, so we did. Well, when we got there, I had to use the restroom, so I rushed to the restroom real quick, and my friend had my daughter, and so they called her back, we got her checked in. We kept telling them that we thought she was having seizures, and we didn't really know what was going on. So I rushed to the restroom real quick, hoping that, you know, they wouldn't have called her back then. So as I'm walking back into the ER, I had noticed my friend was coming in triage with my daughter, so we had just, you know, did the little, oh, what's wrong with her type deal. But, so then, come to find out, my daughter had puked. Like, she had projectile vomited everywhere, and when she did, she would get, like, really, really limp. Once again. And so even the nurse in the triage thought, you know, it was a seizure as well. So they put her at the very top of the list, and we were rushed back immediately. They did tons of tests on her, and I just remember, like, my mind was racing everywhere. I didn't know what was going on. We did tons of tests. The test came back that she wasn't having seizures, like it was normal. Her little, was it EKG or I don't know, that little thing. It came back normal, so there was no seizure activity. They done ultrasounds to rule out anything that was wrong with her in stomach or whatever. They did everything, and we couldn't find out what was wrong. Well, while we were sitting, because we were in, like, the room where, it's the emergency, like, that room needs care pronto and special care, you know, we were back in that room. So, after a while, I had noticed, like, every time she would have a moment to where she would scream in pain, she would clench her poor fist up like this and her feet. So once I told the doctors that, then they once again ran another ultrasound because the pain seemed like it was coming from her belly. They didn't catch nothing. So after a few hours of trying to figure out what was wrong, we couldn't. So they kept us to do overnight tests and just to keep an eye on her, because they said that, you know, it was really odd what she was going through, but she wasn't having seizures, so that was a good thing. Well, so we get back to the room, in our little room for overnight, and you know, we did the regular tests again to make sure that they didn't catch or make sure maybe they overlooked something. Then the doctor came in and told me that they couldn't find out what was wrong with her. Sorry guys, I had to regain myself. But anyway, so the doctor comes in and is like, we can't find out what's wrong with your daughter, but we're not going to give up. Hopefully we can find out what's wrong with her. And for the looks of it right now, it looks like she has the flu. And I'm thinking, you know, how does the flu do this? But, you know, I was a first-time mom, so I had no clue about anything. This was totally new to me. I was paying attention to the doctor and what they were saying, and I trusted this hospital. And just an FYI, the hospital we went to, I freaking love. But anyway, so I just put their trust in my hands, and I went with it. Well, a few hours after the doctor came in, she had vomited again. But this time she had vomited her poop, and I didn't know that. So just imagining, like, waking up to your kid kind of like aspirating in a way, and she is trying to puke, and then finally when she does, like, this green stuff comes out, and you're like, what the crap is this? So I call the doctor, I called the nurse, and I told the nurse what was going on, and she immediately rushed to the doctor. Doctor comes in and is like, I think I know what's wrong. Let's go ahead and get an ultrasound again on your child, and let's see if there's something going on that we did not, maybe we overlooked it, or maybe we didn't catch it. So we rushed to an ultrasound, and there they saw, oh my god, there they saw that she was having what they call an intussusception. Her smaller colon was telescoping into her large one, which was causing her pain and her throw up, and her body was just so weak from fighting everything off that's why she was so limp. If I can find, I hate to do this, but if I can find, like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna put pictures of her, like, I was just gonna do like a picture of her in her little crib that they had her in. She has no wires hooked to her or nothing. She's sleeping. I'm not gonna do that. Anyway, so they found it. They found out that she was having the intussusception. They finally found out what was wrong with my child, and part of me was like, yay that they found out this was what was wrong with her in time, because I looked it up and infants can die from this if not caught. Anyway, so immediately they send the test off, or the little picture thingies, off to the doctor, and they made us basically made us the top priority. I can't even say that right. Anyway, so we get back to the room, and they said that they can try to do an air enema, which, they try to get the colon to fix itself, or intestines and colon, whatever. They try to get it to fix itself, and if that doesn't work, then she has to have surgery. So then they started talking to me about the possible, like, how if we do have surgery, then what would happen and everything. So I held myself together. By now, my family was there, my friend was there, like, everyone was there. I held myself pretty good. Like, I didn't cry, because I knew if I cried or broken down, then she would sense it, and I didn't want that to happen, because everything was just so new. She was laying there, and being a good girl at just 6 months old, but then again, she was in so much pain. But anyway, so we get back in the room. So they go and they try to do the air enema, and they asked me if I wanted to stay in the room with her to do it. I couldn't. I know that makes me sound like a bad mom for not being there for my child, but I couldn't put myself in that situation at all. So they said it's totally normal, and I could wait in the waiting room for her, so I did. Mind you, I'm still shocked at everything. I didn't know what the heck was going on, really. Everything was just so new to me. So I didn't cry. I was just like in mid-shock. I didn't know what to do. My mind and emotions was everywhere. But anyway, so they do the air enema, and they tried to get it to work, and it didn't. So that resulted in surgery, and that resulted in surgery fast to fix it before it got worse. Well, they told me what kind of surgery she was having. They told me what intussusception was. For the longest, it was hard for me to pronounce. They told me that, right, like, the first choice for them to do was just itty-bitty incisions, one in her belly button, one above her belly button, and like her belly button's here, and then another one here, and another one like right in here. So they tell me that if the incisions don't work, then they have to actually go in, cut her open, and fix it themselves. Um, so we prepped her for surgery. My mom and dad walked with me to hand her off to go under. Once again, I held myself together. Like, I don't know how I did it, but I held myself together. I handed her over and went off to the waiting room for her. They told me if they were in there for more than 2 hours, then plan B, which was cut her open and pull it apart herself. If they weren't back with 2 hours, then they did plan B, which that was plan B. And they would also take out her appendix because she's at risk of having appendicitis. I guess that's what they told me. So, it didn't seem like I was waiting forever. I didn't know what to do. I just sat there, and that was like not the first time. That was like a few times that I finally was like putting everything in the doctor's hands and God's hands and everything. Like, I was just praying my little butt off, and just hoping she was okay. 2 hours roll by, she's not out. No doctors are out telling me what happened. So my mind, of course, runs to the whole she done had plan B. So I'm just waiting there and waiting there. Finally, a doctor comes out and tells me that they went with plan A. They didn't have to do plan B. They've been doing incisions in her belly button and around it, and kind of like pulling it apart a little bit worked. So the interception, they finally got her small one to stop telescoping. The reason why it took so long is because they were letting her coop. They were letting her rest and letting the anesthesia wear off of her, and just to give her time. So finally everything wears off and they bring her back into the room, and she's okay. Well, they tell me that they were going to put like fake skin over her stitches so that she didn't realize that she had stitches and then rip them out. Being the curious self, I looked. It wasn't bad at all. But so she had her surgery. She stayed in the hospital for a few more days to see how she'd react, to make sure it didn't come back. To this day, she is still at risk of it happening again, but they said if it happens again, then she is for sure going to go down and have actual surgery where they'll open her up. We are 3 years from her surgery, and so far nothing has happened. She's fine. We saw a doctor for a checkup a month after her surgery, which was in July. Back to what I was saying. She had her checkup in July, and it was fine. The incisions were healing just fine, and then now she is, like I said, three years from post-surgery, I guess you could say, and interception is nowhere in sight. I'm hoping that it never does come back, because that was like the most scariest thing that a mom can go through. I was like 20 when this was going on, so I was still a young first-time mom, and looking back at everything that had happened, I'm glad that I pulled myself together. I'm glad that I didn't have like multiple breakdowns, because that would make it really hard on her. But she's fine. Her colon is fine, her intestines are fine. Everything's fine with her, and we are super glad that interception is nowhere to be found yet. They said that she still is at risk, and she's also at risk with appendicitis as well, so hopefully that doesn't come near. But anyway, so that is kind of like the story of when she had surgery. I know it's a really random video, but I decided just to do a story time video about this and just get it out of my system, and hopefully someone out there has went through something like this or can relate and I won't feel alone. But yeah, so if you guys like this, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new and this is the first video you saw, I promise you my videos are not this sentimental or emotional. Just check our channel out. If you like it, subscribe below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.